gespielt und jetzt geht's los. Willkommen zum Finale Nummer 1 im Bouldern der Summer Series.
Here in Innsbruck, it is the women's final of the first round of bouldering in this Austrian Climbing Summer Series. Mattea Pozzi, the first climber out, and Charlie Bosco had just been joined by Anna Sturr, who's impressively not out of breath, having just run across the athletics hall from doing her German TV work.
Yeah, hello everybody from my side.
It's a funny feeling, this final. The action looks the same, the hall looks so different.
It does. From the screen you couldn't tell the difference really, but in here it's empty, there's no crowd. There's a lot of distance in between everyone who is here. But now Mattea is up on the first boulder.
Yeah, it's quite a complex looking boulder this. The route setters kind of taught me through it move by move, and I basically lost track. I mean, there's so many hand swaps, and you essentially end up with your hands facing towards each other but crossed over, if that makes sense. Quite a complex boulder, not especially physical, but you got to read it right. They were saying they tried all sorts of different sequences and only one felt okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the different sequences, especially in bouldering. There are always so many options, and sometimes there are options that the route setters did not predict or didn't set especially. But yeah, we will see how Mattea will handle this first boulder problem.
Yeah, she's the only climber in this evening's final who only got 2 tops in the semi-final. It was a really well-set semi-final round. The top 3 climbers all got 4 tops. Then there were 2 climbers who finished 4th and 5th. They had 3 tops, and Mattea Pozzi, the highest ranked of the 4 climbers who only had 2 tops. So she's the only finalist who got 2 tops in the semi-final. She managed to get all 4 zones there, though, and still not quite got to grips with this women's one. World Cup rules here, 4 minutes, and it's 4 minutes flat, remember. None of this, if you've left the ground, you can finish your attempt. 4 minutes flat, 1 climber at a time, and we've got the women's final, and then there'll be a short break while the wall gets reset, about an hour and a half, and we'll be back with the men's final.
Mattea is 19 years old. She lives in Innsbruck. She has moved here 1 year ago. She grew up in Carinthia, in another part of Austria. She studies maths at the University of Innsbruck. And yeah, she's someone who usually reads the problems quite well. And we'll see if it will actually work out for her tonight in this final.
Yeah, she's definitely got the right idea. You end up with your right hand on the left hand of those 2 holds, and obviously your left hand on the right one. It made sense in my head. It'll hopefully make sense if she actually does it.
Yeah, she's brushing the holds, brushing the chalk off, which is really important. You want the best friction you can get.
It's been very little time to adjust the difficulty level of these boulders according to what the setters have seen, because there's only 1 wall and it will host 4 rounds of climbing today. So the route setters haven't had much time to work on it. They were fiddling with the last move of boulder number 3 until pretty much the last second, but they got the difficulty level right in the qualifiers and the semi-final, so hopefully they get it again this evening. But Mattea Pozzi, no top for her, takes her brush off stage. If you didn't watch our semi-final coverage earlier, that was one of the new features of the Corona-era competitions. Climbers get their own brush that they hang on to for the whole competition, and they bring it out with them, they do the brushing themselves, and they take it backstage. Here comes Sandra Lettner, the Youth Olympic champion, the European Youth Champion of 2019. She's given the thumbs up and she is ready to go.
She has placed 4th at the Bouldering World Cup in Meiringen, so she knows what a final feels like. She knows what it feels like to climb all 3 rounds, and yeah, I'm wishing her all the best. She just finished high school this year, a couple of weeks ago actually. So now she's free like a bird, kind of free. And tricky first move.
Yeah, really tricky. The start position's not too bad. You can see the 4 bits of tape denoting where the climbers have to start. So there's 2 on the lowest blue volume, 1 bit of tape on the left volume and 1 bit of tape on the right volume. And that means that the climber can use anything on that volume, so she can use any of the screw-on holds she wants to on each of those volumes. So start position, not too tough to get into, but it's getting out of it. And Mattea, the climber before her, didn't make much progress on it. Let's see what method Sandra goes for. Well, we said there was no crowd in here. There's actually quite a lot of noise being generated by the climbers, all of whom are sitting 2 meters apart from each other, but they're making plenty of noise.
Yeah, there are designated chairs for all the climbers. No, there are lots of distancing.
Yesterday I came in for the qualifiers and there's a chair labelled with your name. That's where you sit. You can't sit anywhere. You can't go and sit next to someone else.
Yeah, Austria Climbing, the federation actually had to write the concept, and they had to confirm it with the sports department. There are very strict requirements in order to be able to actually organize this comp, to hold this comp, and I think everyone is happy to be back on the mats, climbing some comp boulders, even though of course it feels different without a crowd behind you.
Yeah, certainly very different from Innsbruck comps gone by.
Yeah, usually you have around 5,000 people behind you who's screaming and cheering you on.
5.
Now there are not a lot of people in here, although it looks the same on the live stream. It definitely feels different. But
that's the method, by the way, from Sandra. That is the way to do it, apparently.
And that was a very good attempt from Sandra. She has around 1 minute left on the clock. So it should be plenty of time. But of course she has to take a little bit of a break before she'll go again.
I said it's not a particularly physical boulder, but I guess holding yourself in with your arms straight behind you is actually a little tougher than it looks.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you look at the screw holds, these are no jugs. I mean, they are very hard to hold. It's a tough boulder problem for sure. And it's also difficult to solve, to read. Come on, Sandra.
We should point out, by the way, although it wasn't on our broadcast, climbers did actually do observation. We could see them behind you when you were doing your German TV work. Again, another very noticeable element of this new coronavirus competition, as Sandra decides enough is enough. Another very noticeable element was that all the climbers are wearing masks for observation.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't have the distance when you're observing the boulder. You need to be close together, and the masks are important when you don't have the distance. And now one of the favorites for today's final is out. She's the world champion of Innsbruck 2018. I still get goosebumps when I think about that final. And now she's out on the mats.
Came down to time, didn't it, on the final lead route?
Yeah, it did.
And Janja Garnbret was messing around just below the top, and it...
Exactly, yeah. Jessie was faster, and that's why she claimed the title in 2018.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it was so close, and... yeah, I still remember that. Jessie climbed brilliantly that whole championships.
And now she knows that she's actually in a good position, Jessie, because she qualified in 4th. So she can put the pressure on the other women, Petra, Jo and Eva, who come out after her. But in order to put pressure on them, she actually has to get to the zone or to the top, preferably. And of course she knows she has a lot of experience. She'll be aiming for the top.
Jessie was on really strong boulder form for much of 2019. Obviously we haven't seen her in action on a world stage since 2019, with much of the World Cup calendar being cancelled or postponed.
Yeah, she took part at the Studio Block Masters, but of course that's only a Masters, not a World Cup format. But she placed 4th at the only international comp so far this season. And yeah, she had a brilliant lead season in 2018 and a good bouldering season in 2019. Her first World Cup start was in 2012, so already 8 years ago. She knows what it takes to win comps, and this looks promising now. Come on, Jessie.
Such a powerful way of doing that move.
Will we see the first bonus? Come on. Yes, claims it. Nice one.
Jessie's got the zone. She was just trying to get herself set up to go for the top.
Yeah, that's definitely a high point. And since she has around 1.5 minutes left on the clock, she'll be taking her time, brushing the holds before she'll make another attempt.
You mentioned it earlier on about coming out 3rd out. If you're in a final of 6, what would be your preferred position to come out?
Well, it depends what you're used to. If you start last, of course, that puts a lot of pressure on you. If you're young and get out first, then you can actually be the one who's setting the high points, which is a really good feeling. Less pressure. But if you're get out last, then you actually know what you have to do. So it really depends on your mindset somehow. I'm sure Jessie, since she qualified in 4th, she really wants to put pressure on the other athletes. And she already claimed the zone, but I'm sure she's not yet satisfied. She really wants to get to the top. She knows that all the boulders usually are climbable, of course. She knows she can get it. Let's see. That's her final go, 20 seconds left on the clock.
You can see, even though she's done that move before, it's absolutely at the limit, because she did it once and then fell twice more. So Jessie takes the first zone from one world champion to another. 2018 lead world champion gives way. Here is the 2016 Boulder world champion. Petra always looks like she's having fun on the boulders. You climbed alongside her, including in that final. What's she like to be in a final with?
Oh, I really enjoy being in the final with Petra, for sure. We can always observe the boulders, see the different methods, and she always has a very positive attitude, which is really motivating. And she definitely wants to win this event. I mean,
she knew exactly what she wanted to do there. No hesitation. Yeah. The tricky bit will be releasing that left foot.
Boah. Yeah, she definitely is trying hard here not to fall. She doesn't want to give that first attempt away. And of course she knows that Jessie did not succeed, so she can be the first to get the top here, but
Petra found 4 tops in the semi-final. It just came down to attempts, the ranking, and she's looking really good on her first attempt here on boulder number 1. She looked like she meant business in the semi-final. And she comes up just short, heading for the top. I actually asked about that top hold, and they said it's okay, but you need to arrive with a bit of control.
Yeah, it doesn't look okay to me. I mean, it looks really bad, actually. You'll have to really control that move. You can't jump to it. And but Petra looked really, really good on the first part of the boulder. She has 2 minutes left, and it will be interesting to see whether she decides to have only one more go, or maybe even 2, because she stayed on the boulder for quite some time now.
Yeah, she was on there a long time. see her smiling again as if she can't really be bothered doing the lower bit again. It was so physical and it took so long.
I think she knows now that she can do the lower part. She knows it's about the top. And she decides to give it another go at 140 already. And back off the ground.
So she fell on the very last move, but she looks so solid on that first attempt. Very reminiscent of her on boulders 3 and 4 in the semi-final. You can see, even though she's done these moves before, she's absolutely at the limit. Put her foot on the higher hold last time. This time she goes for the slightly lower one.
But it looks... Yeah, you can see while Petra is climbing that these moves are not easy. Come on. She's trying really, really hard.
That's a beeper to signal 1 minute to go, and Petra falls. I think just maybe the strain of just holding those crimps.
Yeah, it's definitely a boulder that you can't rush. You gotta take your time, but it definitely tires you at the same time. So she has 40 seconds back on the clock. She has no choice but to go again without a lot of rest. Yeah, she will try to give everything now, but that's gonna be a tough one.
That's what she's trying to hang on to. And sadly for Petra, it was a case of first go, best go. Really close, touched the top hold, couldn't quite hold on to it.
Yeah, didn't have enough rest, I guess, in between. But she secured the zone just as Jessie.
Yeah, she got the zone first attempt. Jessie required 3, as you can see, so after 4 climbers, Petra leading the way. Johanna Ferber out next. The previous World Cup finalist in Taiwan a couple of years ago.
She placed 8th at the European Championship in Zakopane last year. And she already climbed 4 times in semi-finals in a Bouldering World Cup. So she knows what it feels like. And this could be her boulder. I think she will like these kind of moves if she can crimp hard enough. We'll see.
Didn't like that right hand, just never quite looked comfortable on it, couldn't quite get the left foot to come up. Petra Klingler just looked so smooth on that first attempt, couldn't convert it.
Yeah, but you could see on the other 2 attempts of Petra that it's not easy. It's hard to stay on the wall, especially because you have to take your time, and yeah, at the same time it tires you out if you take too much time. So. But I think Jo has the same method as Petra. She wanted to palm again with the left hand now. That's what she tried before. Maybe she'll try again. We'll see. Come on, Jo. Yeah. Not quite. Petra managed to stay in the wall like this, on the wall. Jo is back on the mats.
Just over 2 minutes left for Johanna Ferber, and then we'll be seeing Eva Maria Hammelmüller, the final finalist. It would be great to see the top of the boulder.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it from Jo. She has 2 minutes left. Half of her time is up. And she gives it another go.
So she'll go up, I imagine, to the same hold with the right hand. Unless she's got a different method in mind. No. Goes up. The tricky bit has been getting the feet engaged. I think she thought about using her knee, but it was a little bit too far away.
Brushing off the chalk.
Don't forget.
Important. It's kind of warm in here already.
Yeah.
Outside it's around 30 degrees, I guess.
Yeah.
And in here we'll be at 25, I reckon. What
it's warm, yeah, it feels quite humid as well.
Yeah, it does.
Certainly not ideal conditions.
Summer has arrived in Innsbruck, that's for sure. Beautiful day outside, and it's nice that we're here inside because everyone has the same conditions. And now last attempt for Jo Ferber, last minute on this boulder number 1.
Just going for the same method again, I think. It's just how to get that left foot engaged without swinging out too far from the wall.
Yeah, this right hand crimp is no good at all. She will give it another go. One final attempt before the time's up.
This time she's got the left foot on. This looks a little more promising. She can't get the left hand engaged and,
and maybe
foot
she was
swung
a
out
little
behind
stressed
her.
out now because she knew the time was against her. But that was a good attempt actually from Jo Ferber. Only Petra and Jessie managed to get the zone on boulder number 1 so far.
Well, here comes Eva Maria Hammelmuller. We gave her a big introduction in the semi-final, said how strong she looks in the qualifier where she was top of the rankings. She backed that up by coming top of the rankings in the semi-final. What a statement it would be if she could top this boulder when no one else could do it.
Yeah, and she's in a nice position right now because although she's out last, she knows that nobody has topped it. So she is in a comfy position to be in actually. And she's super motivated.
Yeah, she's won both rounds of the competition so far. Can she win the third and final round? Be an amazing story with a final as strong as this one. No problems at all with the first move into that strange cross position. And already out to the zone. Eva Maria Hammelmuller has absolutely dominated this competition so far. Can she find the first top? The feet slip. Very strong attempt though.
Wow, really strong attempt, yeah, for sure. Good try for Eva. Now I think it's important that she will take her time before she makes another attempt. We saw that with Petra, that she rushed it a little bit, and it is definitely tiring to have too many attempts in this boulder. So it'll be good for her to take a step back, try and relax for a minute, and then give another go. She has secured the zone, so now she wants to get a top in this boulder number 1.
Give us an insight. What will the afternoon have looked like for these climbers? They finished around 11 o'clock. What do you do in between rounds?
Usually you get something to eat, which is really important, that you have enough energy for the next round. And then try to relax, which is also important. Try to calm down as well, calm your nerves, because comp climbing is exciting and nerve-wracking at times. So for me it was always important to actually chill out. And now Eva is already at the zone again.
Same thing, feet slipped. She's got time for another go though.
Yeah, she has enough time, that's for sure. The question is, does she have enough energy?
So you were just saying you calm your nerves right at the moment when we weren't calming her nerves because she nearly found a top. But yeah, you got to try and switch off, I guess, between rounds.
Yeah, that's really important. You have to go somewhere, or I mean, I guess everyone's different. I can only talk about myself when it comes to this, but I always had to go somewhere where I can really relax and not think about comp climbing at all. And Eva's already back on the wall. I hope that wasn't a bad decision. Come on, Eva.
Yeah, she's on the wall pretty early with a whole minute to go.
It's always hard to know when you should actually start your last attempt.
This is looking really good for Eva Maria Hammelmuller. Can she keep the feet on? She cannot. 3 times she's been on that volume and popped off. I think, yeah, she's lining up for another go. She has actually got time for another go.
Yeah, of course she'll try. I mean, she'll try to the last second, but yeah, her chances are definitely worse now.
Frustration for her and for Petra Klingler, both of whom had a good look at the top move but couldn't make it work. She actually moves ahead of Petra on countback.
Yeah, so 3 women were able to get the zone on boulder number 1.
Now over to number 2. This is on the far right-hand side of the wall. Mattea puts the first climber to attempt it, as she will be on every boulder. First thing she does is come out and give it a brush. And again, the setters were testing this pretty much up until the last minute.
And we're at the second boulder already. The green volume wall.
Yeah, some big dual texture volumes coming up. Couple of methods of doing this one. I was watching Jörg Verhoeven test it. He knew the method though. That's a big advantage.
Yeah, that's always a big advantage. If you know the method, then it seems easy to get it. But if you're out there trying different methods, it's very tricky to be in the position of an athlete. Mattea is usually very good at trying different methods, switching between different styles, and now she's thinking about what to do on this green slab. Route setting team did a really good job so far. Here's Wojciech, he's the chief setter. He's joined by Dirk Ulig, a German setter, Jörg Verhoeven, and Andi Matuszka. So compliments to the route setting team. Very exciting boulders so far.
Frustrating on that first boulder. It felt toppable. No one just quite had that attempt where everything went right.
Yeah, it was definitely toppable, and I think Petra and Eva looked the most promising in this boulder, although Jessie was quite close as well. And yeah, we'll definitely see a tight battle today.
Just checking the time, 2 minutes has just ticked by. Will she pull on for another go? This should leave her time for at least one more attempt should she need it.
Yeah, Mattea is from the youth team, or a youth Austrian climbing team, although she is already placed 12th in a adult bouldering World Cup in Munich last year. So
staring down that zone hold.
Almost held the swing, but not quite. Somehow it's nice to be out first because she can set the standards here. She can show us the high points, and it's up to the other girls to show us.
So 1 minute to go now. You can see the dual texture holds really limits which bit of them you can use.
Pure concentration.
Yeah, there's the zone.
Yeah. Oh, sticks it nicely.
As soon as she begins to move left, that hold just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, that seems to be the crux, to actually not only get the zone, but then move your feet over toward the left-hand volume.
And I think that will be that. No, pulls on again.
In final, it's actually easy to pull on again because you have a lot of time behind the wall to relax and to gain energy again. Whereas in semifinals, you know that you only have a 5-minute break, and it's a lot tougher. And time is up for Mattea. Too bad. It was a promising attempt.
Just checky, I think.
Yeah, she got the zone.
Yeah.
No top for Mattea.
Sandra Lettner will be the next climber out. As yet, the only woman to have ever won an Olympic medal in climbing in the Youth Olympics. You mentioned it during the semi-final, was hoping to go to the Senior Olympics, but we'll have to wait for her shot at that. European Championships is her only potential way in, and that's been postponed until December.
Yeah, we'll see how that will actually work out. But we're not worrying about that right now. We're here at the Austria Climbing Summer Series. We have a comp back on, even though there are a lot of restrictions, a lot of different safety requirements. But the athletes that are here are happy to be back.
So good just to have something to watch.
Yeah, I really missed watching comps. I got a lot more nervous watching than climbing. I guess that's normal. Come on, Sandra.
There's some issue with her start on the previous attempt. Sandra, she looked like she was just getting into the starting position and the judge called her down for something. And again,
judge called her down again. Yep. This is a difficult situation for a climber to be in. She knows she did something wrong, but anyway, she has to calm down, not be mad at the judge, but concentrate on her climbing, which is not the easiest thing to do.
I suspect they said she wasn't in a stable position. She just tapped the volume. There she is.
Yeah, probably. And now it's important to not let that influence your performance. Try to concentrate on the boulder, not on the decision of the judges.
Less than half the time remaining for Sandra, so pulls back on. Make sure she gets in a stable position on the start holes. And now has another go at getting that left foot up.
Sandra is a youth world and youth European champion. So from the youth category, she knows what winning feels like. Yet to prove it for the adult category.
Same again, that blue hole probably doesn't feel too bad when you're over to the right. As soon as you start moving left, which you have to do, just gets worse and worse.
Exactly, I guess it's okay holding it, but then moving on over to the left-hand side seems to be the crux here.
A feeling familiar to most climbers where you can get into a position you just can't get out.
True that, yeah. Now it's the last minute for Sandra. She does these first couple of movements nicely.
Now then, can she do a foot swap in that
Sandra.
position? She can almost do it. Again,
rushes the holds again.
Time really running short now for Sandra. I think a zone would be a good result, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. The zone would be important for her now. Oh, can't do anything here in that position. And that's it for Sandra on boulder number 2.
If looks could kill, that judge would have just fallen off his chair. Got stared down by Sandra as she walked off the boulder. You can see there, Mattea Pozzi, by the way, was awarded the zone on the 4th attempt on that boulder. And although she touched it, I don't think Sandra will be awarded the zone. Here is Jessie.
Yeah, now Jessie knows that nobody else topped boulder number 1, so she's not far behind everyone else, which is nice. She can now set a new high point, and we'll see if that's going to happen.
Now, can she
tricky foot move.
Yeah, can she get that foot swap done?
Come
This
on,
looks
Jessie.
nice and controlled from Jessie.
Wow, zone first try.
Now then, Jessie's going up for a tiny little jib. There it is. It's just stuck into that open corner. That's the next stop, and then it's the top. But a great start from Jessie on this very steep slab.
Yeah, there's a tiny little screw hold out on the left. I guess she'll have to grab it and then move her foot upright into the big green dish. Wow.
Possibly wishing she had a chalk bag with her.
Maybe,
She
yeah.
suddenly had to come back down and reset.
She definitely has to commit to do that move somehow. And then try to get her foot up. Wow, I really don't want to swap positions right now. Come on, Jessie. The problem on a slab is that you always have time to think. And sometimes that's not the best in bouldering.
Yeah.
She tried to go all the way. Wow.
I see the theory.
Yeah, it would be a good idea. It'll be interesting to see whether that'll work out.
Again, that jib is the kind of hold you could miss. That tiny little screw-on hold. It's not really in line with the rest of the boulder. It's tiny, it's covered in chalk. Unless you were really studying, it would definitely be possible to miss it. Jessie's definitely seen it though.
Yeah, and I think Jesse's method looks possible. She can definitely go straight to the top hold. Even if I guess the root set is intended another version. Or another way to solve the boulder.
By slab standards, it is steep this. It's only 3 degrees off vertical. Makes it especially tenuous.
The problem with slab is also that it always takes some time. You shouldn't rush it, but then at some point you have to commit. So the starting position is okay. Now she's got 1 minute left on the clock.
She looked very controlled on these lower moves earlier on.
That's right, she did.
Trying to go all the way out with the left foot because it'll save her some work
Wow,
later on.
nice job.
Now then, with less than a minute to go and having burned quite a lot of time just getting across to the zone.
Yeah, what way will
This will
she
be the
actually
last
go
go.
for?
Yeah, what method will she bet everything on?
Oh,
She won't have time for another go.
Corner here. Nice job. Come on, Jessie. Oh.
You can see how tenuous it is. She looked down to position her foot.
Yeah, she couldn't really see the foot, and I wonder whether it would have been possible to stand on the green volume, but I guess not. Because why would the blue hold be there then?
Let's see what Petra Klingler can do on it. 4th climber out. Runs across the stage.
Yeah, and all of these women are longing for a top, of course, and it's only a matter of time who will actually get the first top. And yeah, I guess Petra is super motivated to get the first top now. She knows that Jessie did not top, and she has a lot of experience. She's the oldest competitor today.
Instead of
the world champion.
Yes. Now then, what is Petra thinking here?
She's just getting in the right starting position, into a good spot. Definitely not the intended version, but it worked for her, so it's all good. She's still on her first attempt, trying to get over to the zone. And she does take her chalk back every single time, I think.
Yeah.
She has it with her, just in case that there might be a position where she'll be able to chalk up, which is what she does now.
Looked a little touch and go on the foot swap, but she held on to it, and now she seems in a pretty solid position, a bit like Jessie again. I was about to say, I wonder if she'll just chalk up and pause.
Yeah, in bouldering you can't control every move. It's impossible. Sometimes you gotta decide and go for it. And I think she moves into the corner just like Jessie and opts for the blue foothold. Yep. Wow. That looks so hard. Come on, Petra. Whoa.
She's thinking about going direct, I think, without the jib.
This might be her first top.
So Petra has slapped the top hold on both boulders but not stayed on it. 2 minutes to go.
But it was interesting to see for me that she did not actually use the screw hold for the last move. She had it before, but then she let go and placed her hand a little bit lower.
And it looked possible without the tiny hold.
Yeah, it looks possible. Maybe the hold is just really not good at all. Maybe that's the reason. And of course you can't stand into this green volume there. That's why they're using the blue foot, which is also not a great foot hold. A tricky position for sure.
So Petra pulls on again. Will she do the hand swap on the starting hold, or will she just go straight through? No, she's going for the hand swap again. Really likes that method. Sometimes worth doing a couple of extra moves if it just makes you feel a little more comfortable.
And especially if a method worked out before, then why would you change?
1 minute left for Petra, back on the zone. She's got plenty of time to figure this out.
Nah, every time you're on the slab, somehow time's disappearing. Not only when you're climbing, but also when you're watching other people climb. It's just the same. And of course it takes more time. Her method on the first move takes more time than for the other ladies.
She's done well to get back up here so quickly.
Yeah, she's back in control. She's longing for that top. Come on, Petra. Getting her foot up. And now the decisive move. Come on.
There goes Petra, both hands on the top but can't stay there.
But I guess the top hold's really not good, because otherwise she would have stuck it for sure. She was there with both hands. And I'm actually surprised.
She could easily have two tops, Petra, and she's got none. So unlucky this round.
I'm not sure if I would call it unlucky. I mean, she just didn't quite get it. These are hard boulders, and yeah, you need two hands on the top for 2 seconds.
When she went for that top hold, we saw the replay there. It looked like she was trying to squeeze it, but it's dual texture, and your thumbs just aren't doing.
Yeah, these holds, sometimes these holds look okay, but when you're on the wall, they're just not as good. It's actually hard to do this move. But Yo, who is out now, she qualified in second place from the semi-finals, and she's a very technical climber, so usually she's extremely good at slabs. And I'm looking forward to see her performance now on boulder number 2.
So we saw Petra do a slightly more complicated hand swap to get in position. Johanna Ferber trusting her flexibility and just getting the left foot straight up. She has to be called down
though. She did not get into the starting position, didn't tap the left foot, and has to start again, just like Sandra. And now it's really important to forget about this incident. As a climber, you shouldn't be worried about the judge's decision, or shouldn't be angry at them, even though that's not easy at times. Now that's controlled.
So no doubts about the start this time.
She does this part easily. Come on, Yo. And as I said, usually she likes slabs. Let's see if she likes this particular slabs. Of course, there are so many different ways to set a slab. Really tricky. Let's see if she moves over to the left-hand screw hold. Come on, Yo.
And does not have a chalk bag with her, so can't chalk up while she thinks about it.
I would need one right now, I have to admit.
think I've got mine in my bag.
I'd love to have chalk right now.
It must be
Close
really
for you.
Sorry?
It was close for you.
Yeah. It must be really tricky when you get called down for a false start or something.
Yeah, that's definitely tricky for your mind. I mean, as I said, you have to forget about it.
Yeah.
You have to concentrate on the boulder and try to do better next time. Bouldering is all about blocking out other things. You can't think about the performance of the other athletes, you can't think about the judges. Usually what helps sometimes is the crowd, but we don't have a crowd today. So it's a special event.
Now then, what is she trying here? Oh, really uncomfortable looking foot swap. She's not even looking at the top hold. I think she definitely wants to use that tiny little jib in the corner.
Yeah,
and this looks really promising for Johanna Fair, but she's got the foot up. She goes to the top. Gets it with one hand, but not the other.
But this is a tricky top section. She has 50 seconds left on the clock. I don't know what time. Time is always running when climbers are on the slab. Somehow it feels like she's only had 1 minute.
I know, you look at the clock and you think, no, really?
Yeah.
Having to rush things a little bit more, kind of slap the feet through this time. Couldn't go down to swap her feet, but she has got time
But you can
to
give
do
it
this.
one
She's
more
got
try.
one more attempt at this
Come
top
on, you.
method. Got the foot
Come
in
on.
place.
You can do it.
And she finds the first top of the final, Johanna Faber. She had a good look at the top section on the previous attempt. This time, she makes it stick. First climber to find the top.
Nice one. First one to top the boulder. Yeah, she can be satisfied. That was a very good effort with, I believe, 15 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and there you can see her smile. Nice one, Johanna.
But just as we said, you've got to forget when something bad happens. You've also got to forget when something good happens, because she's only halfway through her final.
Of course, but it will definitely give her a self-confidence boost,
Yeah.
which is nice. Always good if you can think back to positive events or to tops that you've already collected. And now Jo has definitely put pressure on Eva, because this woman knows that Jo has topped. Again, she has to forget about all of that. She just has to concentrate on her own performance.
Well, she
Will
was
she manage?
the best climber in the 2 rounds we've seen so far in the past 24 hours, so she's certainly capable of doing it.
Yeah, definitely. She has shown a great performance throughout this first Austrian Climbing Summer Series. And this is her first attempt on this tricky slab.
Looking pretty solid this time.
Looks solid, has her chalk bag with her, which she just used to chalk up. Now she's moving over to the tiny little screw hold in the corner. Just a tiny bit too fast. Trying to give the hold a good brush in order to have the best friction.
Of course, she is the last climber out, so she's already had 5 climbers' hands all over these holds. Conditions probably not quite as good as they were for the first climber.
Yeah, although you can't think about that right now. If you're in Eva's position, it's all about the top. Come on, Eva. She moves nicely over to the zone hold. Really in control. And now it'll be exciting whether she will actually be able to follow Jo and get a top on boulder number 2.
You see her staring down that tiny little chip. Just need it to steady yourself while you position your feet, judging by what Johanna Faber did.
And now she'll try to get her right foot up onto the blue hold.
That's the position you need to be in.
Chalking up.
Even able to chalk up and able to find a top.
Nice one.
Wow, we've got 2 world champions in this final, and right now they're being bettered by the 2 youths.
Yeah, the young guns are definitely putting pressure on Petra and Jessie. And yeah, that makes it exciting for us. I mean, quite interesting to see Eva smile here, fist up in the air. Yes.
Okay, so we move on to boulder 3 now, complete change of gear. Pretty burly boulder, big moves, big volumes, not too much to read. Just need the horsepower to do this one. You've got to read it correctly, but it shouldn't be too hard for climbers of this standard to read it. You'll see it in just a second. You can see we've got a camera there right in front of it.
Yeah, from the technical slab we're moving over to the powerful one. Let's see whose style this is. Come on, Mattea.
Actually looked like she might want to put her foot where the signs are. The left foot, it's hard to tell. She was looking around for somewhere to put her foot. That's how it stands right now. Eva Maria Hammelmuller ahead on with 1 top and 2 zones. Nobody topped the first boulder.
Yeah, and Mattea is taking a break for a minute, looking at the boulder, trying to see whether she forgot something, whether there's another way, and is now pulling back on.
You can see where she's heading for, that little zone hold, and then there's another couple of quite tough compression moves, and then the top.
Yeah, the problem is she couldn't really decide whether she wanted to use her right foot or her left foot, and I think it would be better if she could decide on the ground and then go for one method once she's on the wall. Of course, it's always easier said than done, but I guess it would help to save energy to decide for one method and then go for it.
Just having another look at the boulder, just trying to figure out if she's missed something, whether there's another way of using her feet while she goes up to that zone. She's got no trouble at all with the first moves.
Come on, Mattea. And now bam, go for it. Almost aiming for a bad crimp there.
Surely there's got to be a way to get your feet involved so that they're not swinging when you grab the crimp.
I guess if you really go for it and are able to control that right hand crimp right away, like crimp it hard once you hit it, it should be able with only the right foot, the way Mattea tried. But of course there are always various methods, and I'm sure we'll see different heel hook versions later on.
It's a really satisfying looking first move. It's this move that's causing the problems now.
Yeah, now she tried the left foot. Did not quite work out either. I'm sure there are more methods to this boulder.
29 seconds, as you can see in the background, and she pulls back on. She's definitely got time to do the boulder. But I think just getting a little fatigued. So she touched the zone, I think, on every attempt, but she won't be awarded it, sadly.
Yeah, she didn't control the bonus, the zone hold. But she tried.
Let's have another look. That was when she had the left foot up high.
And it's tricky with powerful boulders because you have to take your time to actually rest in between attempts. And especially if it feels close, you want to go back to the boulder straight ahead. So it's hard to actually take a step back and take your time, but sometimes that's the way to do it.
Now, interestingly, Sandra just missed that first move. Mattea really didn't struggle with it at all. So, is that just a reading issue? Did she just miss the best bit of the hold?
Yeah, chalking up again.
Here she goes, Sandra Lettner.
She was 4th in Meiringen already at the Bouldering World Cup, so she knows what a final feels like. And she knows that she has to take one boulder at a time. Of course, boulder number 1 and 2 didn't go according to Sandra's plan, so she definitely wants to improve in these last 2 boulders.
Yeah, she's the only climber actually without a zone so far, Sandra. It's a little bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, and it's also hard to block that out, to focus on the boulder itself rather than on the prior attempts. Bouldering's tricky.
She definitely seems to have the method right. She's just, by the time the right hand lands on the volume, she seems to already be coming away from the wall.
Yeah, somehow she needs to be able to hold that left hand volume a little bit better. Come on, Sandra.
Is that a timing issue, do you think?
Not 100% sure. I think it's also hard to actually hold this left hand hold. You have to kind of put pressure on it already. She has 1 minute, 15 seconds left on the clock. Come on, Sandra.
Yeah, it's interesting. By the time she reaches the right hand, she's already moving backwards.
Yeah, somehow it looks as if she can't actually hold the left hand too well. You have to press these 2 volumes against each other, kind of, to be able to hold the swing. There are no feet anymore, and that's tricky.
Okay, Sandra probably on her last attempt might have time for just about for one more with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, really doesn't like that kind of move. Chalks up once more. This will be her final attempt for boulder number 3. Come on, Sandra, you can get the zone. 12 seconds. Come on. Yeah, that was not her boulder. Too bad.
This final just not quite working out so far for Sandra Lettner. Heads back inside, no zones so far. Jessie Pilz will be the next climber out, the 2018 lead world champion, crowned here in Innsbruck, her adopted hometown.
Yeah, and that looks as if this boulder could suit Jessie and Petra. It's a powerful style. And Jessie and Petra both don't have a top yet, so they're both looking to get to the top of the boulders. They know that Johanna and Eva have secured the top already, so come on. They will have to try hard, or Jessie will.
So Jessie not really getting on with that first move. Mattea, interestingly, Mattea just walked up the first move every time, which is looking more impressive as time goes by.
Yeah, Mattea did a really good job there, and as you can see, there are different strengths and weaknesses from all the different athletes. They are all very strong, and yeah, for now Jessie is struggling, which is surprising to me.
Already well over a minute elapsed for Jessie. Petra Klingler, Johanna Ferber and Eva Maria Hammelmüller, the 3 climbers still to go after her.
Come on, Jessie. Oh, she's really struggling with that move. Hard move, and it's important for Jessie not to be too angry at herself, but to try and focus on this problem. Although, of course, she knows that she needs a top if she wants to be at the top of this field.
She's got both zones so far, but no top.
She's trying to brush the chalk off these holds to get the best friction she can get right now. We have about 25 degrees in here, I would say, maybe a little more.
Yeah, it feels as warm as it has done all day, actually.
Definitely feels warm, and it's also quite humid, so brushing is very important when you want to stick these volumes.
She gave that attempt absolutely everything, Jessie, but still couldn't quite stick it. Again, studying the boulder, trying to figure out whether she's missed anything. You hear the beep when the time hits a minute. Still a little short, Jessie. I have to say, when we watched Mattea out first, the move looked like a bit of a gimme, just an easy move off the start.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't forget these are the top 6 athletes from today's semi-final. And even though, yeah, Mattea made it look easy, we can see now that this move is definitely a hard one. Jessie is struggling, and so has Sandra before her. 15 seconds on the clock. This will be her last attempt, and she wants to get the zone, but yeah, that was not Jessie's boulder. It's important to try and forget about this one and focus on the last one for her.
So Petra Klingler, who currently sits in 3rd place, will be climbing next. The first of the 3 climbers who got 4 tops in the semis. This was Jessie, close on that occasion.
Yeah, and Petra also did not top a boulder yet. But I mean, this actually, in my opinion, Petra is written on this boulder. So I would be surprised if she would struggle with it. But I also said the same about Jessie, and she couldn't quite do it. So let's see. But Petra usually is a very powerful climber. She likes steep stuff. She has also been competing in ice climbing for quite some time. So she's a competitor through and through in all various disciplines.
She was a little slower, I think, on the move there. There's a little more delay between the left hand and the right hand landing, perhaps.
So hard to know what's actually hindering her. I'm not 100% sure. I think she's a little bit worried as well, I guess, or doubting herself. But that's a good tactic to actually give it a rest for a little while, brush the holds, try to get in the right mental state. and give it your all on the next go.
Here goes Petra. Third attempt. Oh, and she really got a solid left hand on that top volume. Just perhaps rotated a little too far by the time the right hand had arrived.
One minute 30 left on the clock. Plenty of time.
And
But of course you always want to get back into the boulder, especially if the first move is out for them, and now she might have some issues with her hand.
yeah, she's just asked to tape it, what presumably is a little cut.
Yeah, the climbers are not allowed to bleed. This was a rule before Corona. Of course it would be unfair for the next competitor, so she needs to 1 minute left on the clock, and she has to tape that.
It is actually bleeding quite a bit there. You can see some blood's already made its way onto some of her other fingers.
Yeah, the problem is that all these volumes are brand new, and 3 rounds, that definitely, you can see that on your skin. It's very very hard on your skin, and a lot of climbers have issues. There.
So
35 seconds.
Yeah, 35 seconds left.
Come on, Petra, you can do it.
Yeah, it looked like quite a bad cut, that actually. There was quite a bit of blood.
Yeah, and of course the friction is not as good. Yeah, tape is not ideal. Your skin is always, yeah, the friction on your skin is better than it is with tape. Come on, Petra.
Petra went for a zone-only attempt there with about 5 or 6 seconds to go.
Yeah, and she'll be disappointed for sure.
Just giving the bit of spring cleaning before she heads off.
Yeah. Thanks to Petra for cleaning that boulder. Yeah, she'll be disappointed for sure. She definitely wanted a top, and now
Johanna Faber now, one of only 2 climbers with the top. She top boulder 2 on her 4th attempt.
And of course, if she manages a top on this one, it'll put her in a nice spot.
Well, it'll guarantee her 1st or 2nd, which is pretty nice.
Yep. But as we just saw, this boulder is not easy, and hopefully she'll manage to get this first 2 moves. Oh, nicely stuck by Johanna Faber. Come on, yo, get the zone. Yes.
Oh, and latches the zone as well.
And now she's going for the left-hand heel hook. Come on, yo.
That's the penultimate hold there. Just needs to bring the right hand up, and then the top beckons. She needs to get her feet sorted out, and then you've got to commit 100% to the top move. But Johanna Faber climbing absolutely superbly here. She's only gone and topped it. She'll finish 1st or 2nd, we know that. Puts real pressure on Eva Maria Hammelmuller.
Wow, that was impressive by Jo. A flash on this boulder. We've just seen the 2 world champions, Chesty and Petra, struggling with the move, and then Jo comes out and flashes it. Good job to Johanna. Of course, she knew that she already had 1 top in the bag, in her bag, and now she has 2. So, yeah, that was a strong performance from Johanna Faber.
Real pressure now on Eva Maria Hammelmuller.
And now a last move. Wow, nice. She might have surprised herself a little bit. I mean, she knows that she's strong, but
wow. Well, as you rightly said, this boulder's stopped 2 world champions, the youth Olympic champion. She strolled up it.
Yeah, and now it'll be interesting to see if Eva can actually get another top as well.
Attempts could be crucial here, actually. Eva was only ahead on attempts after boulder 2. So if they both topped the last boulder, or both got the same score on the last boulder, it could come down to attempts.
Of course, Eva still has to top the 3rd boulder.
Yeah,
but
okay.
we just saw that you proved us that it's possible, so she can definitely do it, but she's also struggling with the 2nd move. Giving the holes a proper brush in order to get rid of all the chalk.
Es ist machbar. So viel wissen wir bereits.
Well, this would put Johanna Faber in an incredible position if things don't change. Only climber with 2 tops right now, a top clear of anyone else. And as with
and so
the
far
majority of the climbers struggling with this move.
Only Johanna and Mattea managed to actually do this move.
2 minutes.
Eva has 2 minutes left on the clock.
Only 2 climbers have managed to top a boulder today. Hard round.
Yeah, definitely a tough round. And usually the last one's not the easiest, but we will see. Maybe all these ladies are hungry for a top.
Less than a minute and a half to do something about this. Johanna Faber's out in the lead as it stands. Eva Maria Hammelmuller led after the qualifying round, led after the semi-final round. If she can't find a top here, she will go on to boulder number 4 in 2nd place. Getting a little frustrated now, I think.
Yeah, it's not easy if you get shut down by the first move. Always a difficult situation to be in. Somehow you want to calm down, relax, but then also you want to just go for it and get the zone. Come on, Eva.
Takes a look at the clock, just over 20 seconds left. So this is likely to be the last attempt. And she's not going to have time to top it, even if she does pull back on for another go at the zone. So it will be Johanna Faber that leads the way.
Yeah, and that makes the field quite open again. I mean, Johanna is in a very good spot, Eva's in a good spot, but then everyone else can still improve rapidly in this last boulder. We'll see how it goes for Mattea.
Interestingly though, it's a 2-horse race for the win. Johanna and Eva Maria, the only 2 now who can win it. So first chance to have a look at number 4. Again, quite intricate dual texture volumes. All sorts going on here.
Yeah, but it's a good idea to try and catch the toe on this starting hold and move over with the left palm. Definitely a tricky problem to read. bar. Does it without the toe catch.
Yeah, missed the toe catch, but stayed on the wall.
Still stuck it. Come on, Mattea. Yeah, gets the zone.
So now she'll go out left, and there's a tiny crimp, and the best bit of it's blocked. And then you commit to go for the top, and she finds the top. Only the third climber in this final to even top a boulder. And that will send her flying up the order.
Second attempt. And this makes it a lot really interesting again, because boulder number 4 is doable for sure. And now everyone in the transit zone knows that Mattea topped. So the next one out is Sandra Lettner. And they're all aiming for a top right now.
Yes, that moves Mattea up into third. There you see it, she's gone rocketing up the order.
Yeah, she got 2 zones. Petra and Jessie also have 2 zones already, so they still have good chances. But Mattea already proved in the third boulder that she's very strong. She was the only one to do that second move. And Sandra is struggling on the first part of boulder number 4.
Sandra taking another look. Just got to get that timing right, got to get the toe catch. Although Mattea missed it but managed to stay on. Certainly looks a bit easier if you can get your toe to catch.
Come on, Sandra. Oh. She also missed the toe catch just like Mattea and couldn't stay on the wall. Somehow her palm, her left hand palm was not as far out. Come on, Sandra. Yeah, almost.
Again, just missed the toe catch. Almost managed to hold it anyway.
Two more minutes for Sandra. Half her time is up, but now she seeks the move. Come on, Sandra.
So she, again, didn't get the toe catch like Mattea, but managed to stay on. Can she get the zone?
She's the Olympic youth champion. She can definitely get a top here. Come on. Yes, nice one.
Got that second to last hold. Decides to drop back down to the zone, actually. We said earlier it's hot and humid in here. Just dries her fingers before going for the top.
Come on,
here she goes, Sandra. Comes up just short.
Yeah, just short of the top. Didn't manage to get high enough somehow. But there's definitely time for another attempt.
In diesem letzten Boulder des Nachfinals um 20:15 Uhr die Herren in der Entscheidung. Ich bin einmal Deutschland ausschnitt.
Just 50 seconds left for Sandra. Never got close enough to that last hold. Managed to touch it, never really got on top of it. So here she goes again. Doesn't need the toe catch. Really solid through the shoulders.
Yeah, solid first move. Come on. She knows that she can get the top.
So Sandra got that second to last crimp once again. Drops back down before going up again. Here she goes for the top. Short again, and that will be time up for Sandra. Frustration reigns. She has secured a zone, but no tops for her in the final.
Yeah, definitely disappointing round for Sandra here. Only one zone in the whole round. Of course, it has been a hard set of boulders, but Mattea just proved that boulder number 4 is doable. And yeah, we can see that Sandra was just short. Somehow she couldn't really get any movement onto the last hold.
Jessie Pilz out now, can't win this competition, only 2 climbers can win it.
But of course she's aiming for a podium finish.
Yes, she is.
I mean, it's Jessie Pilz, but it will come down to attempts. She definitely doesn't want to waste a lot of those because Petra is right behind her. Come on, Jessie. She's doing a completely different method. She tries to get left hand to the crimp, whereas Mattea and Sandra both palmed the left hand volume and tried to go with the right hand to the crimp. So let's see if she will change methods here right now. Yeah, she does. I'm not sure if it feels better for her, but it looked better for us with the other 2 climbers. It's always a lot easier behind the mic if you know what the other climbers did already. And I guess for her both methods kind of feel the same. Ah, nice.
That's more like it. And she got the toe catch as well. Just stopped dead as soon as she got that left hand in place. No problems up to the zone. Camera follows her up. Up to that tiny little crimp and on to the top. Jessie Pilz will finish the final with a top and 2 zones, and it will come down to attempts.
Yeah, 3rd attempt to go to the bonus. She had 3 bonuses now, so she must be ahead of Mattea. But it will be interesting to see what Petra does. And now a really nice camera angle.
Yeah, we had a great angle on it all the way. Actually, camera just followed her up. You could see the crimp in close-up detail. She only just made it to that top hold.
Yeah, she's on the 2nd place now, Jessie, because she has 3 zones. Although Eva and Petra can still get 3 zones. And yeah, Petra knows. She lost 1 attempt because her foot just slipped. But she will definitely try to get this top as fast as possible. In bouldering, you have to concentrate until the last boulder. It's complicated. You need to be focused until the very last second of your last boulder, because this is or can be decisive. Can decide everything, just as this boulder does right now. Come
Not
on,
for the
Petra.
first time today. Petra doing the start move slightly differently to the other climbers.
She claims the zone in the 2nd attempt. Jessie needed 3. Can she get the top?
Petra just looking around to see if there's anything else she can do, but she's got her feet as high as her go. She's got her left hand in position.
Oh, she can't.
And just didn't really like the look of that last move.
I believe that now she will be... She also uses 3 attempts to get to the zone.
Right, Petra.
Yeah, Jessie had 4 tries for the tops, and Petra will need more. Come on, Petra. This is important now. That's the attempt that counts. Come on, Petra. Yeah, gets the zone. Now it's about this top move. Tries a different beta here.
Yeah, completely different method.
This is the way to go for Petra. 1 hand on the top and the second one.
She did this boulder her own way, but it worked out in the end. Petra Klingler finds a top. Completely different method.
Yeah, this way is definitely more in control. The other way you have to go dynamically. This way you can kind of control it. It was a good move tactically. Good job for Petra. And interesting to see that she actually thought about that. Yeah, she's shaking her head, maybe not 100% satisfied with her performance today. But she got a top on the last boulder and advances to second place.
Yeah, moves her into second, as you say. So Johanna Faber can win the competition with a top here.
Yeah, Johanna knows that the win is possible for her tonight.
A zone might actually do it, depending on attempts, but a top will make it definite.
Wow. She's on the roll here tonight. That looked really good. Come on, Yo.
She is just having a low gravity day.
Yeah, she's definitely
flying.
having a good time. Come on, Yo. Oh. The other women struggled with the first move. She struggled with the move to the zone. All climbers are different. And yeah, let's just hope she will figure it out. She's analyzing the moves. There she goes again.
So again, no problem with that first move. It was this move that she struggled with last time, going up to the zone. Just setting herself. This time she gets it. So Johanna Faber up to the zone. Will she spot the Petra Klingler method? It looks like she's going to go out left, as everyone apart from Petra has done up to that tiny crim. She's getting herself set now to go there, and if she can go there, she will win the competition. I think she thought she had it, let alone us.
Yeah, I think she was surprised a little bit. But she has 2 more minutes on the clock, so only half her time is up. She will give the holds a good brush right now. And I think she knows that she can actually do this boulder. And she will know that that's what it would take today to secure the win in this Austria Climbing Summer Series.
Yeah, first competition of the Corona era.
Yeah.
And she's
doesn't look
close.
different on the live stream.
No, it doesn't look different
in here. There's no crowd, no spectators. And Yo is getting a little bit nervous. It looks as if she definitely knows what's in the cards for her today. And she can do it. Come on, 1 more minute.
I mean, she might have done enough already. We should say that.
That's true, but I mean, she's looking for the top. She can do the top. She proved that she's very strong tonight. And I want to see this top from Yo Faber. Come on, Yo.
Okay, here she goes, lining it up again. She's onto that zone. She'll go out to the crimp again.
Come on,
She's been
Yo.
in this position before. She got a really good hand on the top. This time she gets 2 hands on the top and she wins the competition. Johanna Faber will be the only climber with 3 tops. She's going to win here in Innsbruck. Does she realise exactly what has just happened? She's won the competition.
Maybe it didn't sink in yet, but she will realize once she's in the transit zone. Yeah, I think she did realize. Good job from you.
So Johanna Faber is going to win here. Eva Maria Hammelmuller, who's topped the rankings in the qualifiers and the semi-finals, has the opportunity to claim second. A top, regardless of attempts, will do it.
She definitely needs a zone in 1 try.
Yeah, she needs a very quick zone, as you say.
And she's on the podium, and if she can top the boulder, that'll secure second place for Eva.
I think she knows how crucial attempts are going to be. I mean, look how much she's really scrubbing the boulder.
I mean, she won the qualifications, she won the semi-final, and she definitely wants to finish on the podium here. She knows that Jo just climbed the boulder, and let's hope that Eva's nerves will be okay to get a top here on boulder number 4. Come on, Eva. Struggling with the first move, just as she did with boulder number 3. It's still important to take a step back and sometimes try and relax. Not do too many attempts at once. Yeah, and that's what she's trying to do right now.
This time she holds it. Needs to swap her hands and then head out left to the zone.
Yeah, she'll need a top now though, in order to finish on the podium. She had too many attempts already. Come on, Eva. Yeah, and
so here she goes, lining it up for a place on the podium in this first competition of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series. And she gets it. It will be second place for her. Petra Klingler moves down to third. Petra back on the podium, but Johanna Färber the winner. Eva Maria Hammelmuller, who was highest ranked after the qualifying round, highest ranked after the semi-final, ends up dropping down one position to second place in the final, but still an excellent couple of days' work for her. But I have to say, this evening, nobody could touch Johanna Färber. 3 tops for her, no one else got more than 2. And she will win the first of these Austrian Climbing Summer Series competitions. We'll be back again next week with another one. The climbers will have another shot at it, but it's Johanna Färber that takes the first competition victory in the coronavirus world. You see there, 3 tops, 3 zones. Amazing performance from her. Required 10 attempts to get them, but persistence rewarded. Jessie Pilz misses out on the podium. Mattea Puzzi also claimed a top. She ends up 5th. Sandra Lettner just didn't have the round she wanted this evening and ends up down in 6th. 1 zone, no tops. It's all about Johanna Färber though. What a performance.
yeah, it was definitely a very tough round. Only 1 climber did 3 tops. Eva with 2, and then Petra, Jessie and Mattea with 1 top, so a lot harder than the semi-final. It'll be interesting to see whether it'll be the same for the men tonight at 8:15.
Route setters actually already on stage preparing
Geht an
for the men's
Österreich, Johanna
final.
Färber, und neben mir steht Katharina Sauerwein, Bundesnachwuchskoordinatorin des österreichischen Kletterverbandes.
Just to let you know, we're going to
Wie
hear
ist Ihre
2
Einschätzung des
interviews
österreichischen Siegs
in
hier
German.
bei der
First
Summer
up,
Series?
Ja, es ist natürlich
Sauerwein.
super Erfolg,
might be
da,
able to
dass
get
wir
Anna
wirklich
to,
3 Athletinnen auf die
translate
Top
the
4
second one. Let's see, we'll hear from
haben und
Katja
so viele
first.
Finalistinnen gehabt haben. Ich glaube, das war ein super Auftakt für uns, auch wieder in das Wettkampfgeschehen einzusteigen, und die Athleten haben sich irre drauf gefreut gehabt, jetzt da loslegen zu können, und ich glaube, es sind die meisten auch sehr zufrieden.
Welche Erwartungshaltung hatten denn Ihre Athletinnen, vor allem Ihre beiden Schützlinge, die als Nachwuchsathletinnen vielleicht nicht unbedingt zu den Favoritinnen gehört haben und hier aufgezeigt haben, eben Johanna Färber am 1. Platz und Eva Maria Hammermüller am 2. Platz?
Ja, ich glaube, die Erwartungen waren bei alle eigentlich jetzt nicht die höchsten. Es hat natürlich auch niemand gewusst, wo umgeht. Die trainieren teilweise erst seit einem Monat wieder. Auch im internationalen Vergleich hat man natürlich nicht gewusst,
Kata
wo man
says
steht.
it's really hard
ich
to
glaube, das Ziel von
know
den meisten war einfach wieder mal in die
what the level would actually be like,
und die Leistung, die sie Zeit im Training haben,
yeah, all the athletes were happy to be back on the mats.
Dann die Leistung abrufen zu können. Und gerade der Johanna und der Eva ist
And
das
it was
super
a good
gelungen und
comparison
gut
with the other
Was
athletes.
nimmt man als junge Athletin aus so einem Bewerb
yeah, it
mit,
was
vor allem nach so einer
not
schwierigen
easy
Phase,
with all these
in der noch niemand
training
von den
restrictions
Athletinnen
that they
und
had so
Athleten
far?
eigentlich war durch die lange Corona-Pause. Was gibt das einer jungen Athletin?
ja, ist natürlich auch ihre Motivationsanschub wieder. Sie versuchen natürlich da zu schauen, wo sie jetzt noch Schwächen haben, was sie bemerkt haben, wo sie im Vergleich zu den anderen vielleicht noch ein bisschen hinterherhängen, das auszumerzen.
Of course, it means a lot for these young athletes to actually be back on the mats, to claim the title for Jo and Eva. They prove that they are very strong youth athletes, and it definitely boosts their confidence. That they can actually be ahead of Jessie and Petra in tonight's final.
Ihre Plätze erklettert haben.
So we'll have the flower ceremony, the climbers presented with their flowers and prizes, and you notice there's no kissing on each cheek on the podium anymore. It is the fist bump all round. Petra Klingler there in third place. Eva Maria Hammelmuller, she was leading after one boulder, looked like she might complete the clean sweep of winning every round, but ends up in second place. Looks pretty delighted with that. I think if you'd offered her that at the start of yesterday, she would have taken that.
Yeah, she can definitely be satisfied with her performance. It was a very tough round, and today there was no way of overtaking Johanna. With 3 tops, she proved to be the strongest tonight, and there's her smile.
Johanna Ferber, the winner. Amazing performance, 3 tops, nobody could match that. It didn't come down to attempts, came down to tops. She takes her check, she receives her fist bump from all concerned. An absolutely staggering performance. We'll hear shortly from Johanna actually. Yeah, apparently we will hear from Johanna Ferber before we disappear. You don't get the national anthem when it's just the Austria Climbing Series.
No, obviously that would be kind of weird. Yeah, the Austrian Federation tried to organize something for the athletes. It was not sure whether other teams could attend. Since the numbers in Germany and Switzerland were okay, 4 athletes were allowed to join for Swiss and for Germans.
Now we can hear from Johanna Ferber.
Perfect.
Anna, are you going to try your best again?
I'll try.
It's a big ask. See what you can do. Here's Johanna Ferber.
Der Sieg geht an Johanna Ferber, der erste Sieg bei einer Summer Series im Boulderbewerb. Herzliche Gratulation, auch die Siegerehrung schon mit Freude entgegengenommen. Wie geht es Ihnen jetzt nach diesem Erfolg?
Also nachdem ich wirklich 2 Tage lang durchgehend nervös war.
Johanna says she was happy for 2 straight days, and she's really happy that she was able to have such a strong performance here. She's just super happy to be back on the mat and very satisfied with her climbing tonight.
Ich habe gemerkt, dass mir beim 3. am besten gegangen ist, bei diesem kraftigen.
She enjoyed the 3rd boulder the most because she said that she really worked on her weaknesses during the Corona lockdown, and she could really pull off her best performance on boulder number 3.
Petra Klingler, wie geht es einer jungen Athletin, die
How does it feel to beat a world champion that is Petra Klingler?
Wenn man weiß, man hat gerade eine Weltmeisterin geschlagen.
Ja, also wir wissen mittlerweile alle, dass beim Bouldern immer alles passieren kann.
Everyone knows that in bouldering so many things can happen. It's possible that.
Wie gehen Sie jetzt in die nächsten Bewerbe der Serie?
Of course, it's a great feeling to be ahead of Petra, but yeah, it feels great to actually win this summer series. But she knows that bouldering is a sport which is unpredictable.
Aber ja, dadurch, dass ich jetzt beim ersten, dass es heute so gut gelaufen ist, habe ich auf jeden Fall mal ein bisschen weniger Druck beim zweiten und werde den einfach genießen.
Wenn Sie in die Zukunft schauen, was haben Sie sich noch so vorgenommen als junge Athletin im Klettersport, in einem boomenden Sport, der jetzt auch olympisch geworden ist?
Ja, also da die Kombi in Tokio olympisch geworden ist und ich ja nur Boulderin bin, fällt das eher weg für mich. Aber Paris 2000 irgendwas will ich nicht ausschließen.
Dann wünsche ich auf jeden Fall viel Erfolg und natürlich alles Gute für die Zukunft und herzlichen Dank für das Interview und natürlich Gratulation zur Leistung heute.
Danke.
Ja, der erste Sieg geht also an Österreich und jetzt nach der Siegerin steht auch schon Anna Stör wieder bei mir, unsere Expertin für den heutigen Abend. Anna Stör, was ist Ihr Eindruck nach diesem fulminanten Heimsieg?
Ja, es war wirklich ein spannendes Finale. Wer hätte gedacht, dass die Favoritinnen Jessie Pilz und Petra Klinger heute geschlagen werden von der Johanna Färber und der Eva-Maria Hammelmüller. Die Runde war wirklich schwierig. Man hat gesehen, nur 3 Boulder sind getoppt worden. Ja, auf jeden Fall ein sehr schwieriges Finale, aber ich glaube, die Athletinnen haben ihr Bestes gegeben und es war wirklich eine spannende Show.
Wo haben die zwei jungen Österreicherinnen und vor allem auch die Siegerin ihre Stärken ausgespielt? Wo haben sie sozusagen den Bewerb heute für sich entschieden?
Die Johanna hat auf jeden Fall beim dritten Boulder ihre Stärke komplett ausgespielt. Man hat gesehen, dass alle Athletinnen eigentlich große Probleme haben, schon bei den ersten 2 Zügen. Und ja, die Johanna ist rausgekommen und hat das Teil im ersten Versuch geklettert. Also das war wirklich eine sehr starke Leistung, auf die sie heute total stolz sein kann.
Sehen Sie auch Elemente, die man vielleicht in dieser schwierigen Corona-Zeit schwerer trainieren konnte, die heute aber ausschlaggebend waren, oder hat das jetzt nicht unbedingt eine Rolle gespielt?
Ja, ich glaube, es war für alle Athletinnen ganz einmal was Neues, ein Leistungscheck sozusagen. Es ist immer schwer zu wissen, wo stehe ich jetzt genau, vor allem wenn so lange Zeit keine Wettkämpfe eigentlich stattgefunden haben. Ich denke, es war jetzt einmal ein guter Start, wieder in dieses Wettkampf-Feeling zu kommen. Ich bin mir sicher, dass wir nächste Woche von Jessie und Petra ja, volle Power-Retour sehen werden auf jeden Fall. Aber man hat gesehen, dass auch mit den Jungen zu rechnen ist.
Wie geht es Ihnen als ehemalige Athletin, wenn Sie dann bei den Wettkämpfen mit dabei sind und mitfiebern? Versuchen Sie auch die Griffe durchzudenken und den nächsten Schritt sozusagen der Athletin in die Gedanken zu legen? Fiebert man da wirklich so mit?
Ja, also es ist wirklich so, dass ich heute gerne ein Jogbike hinten gehabt hätte beim Kommentieren. Meine Hände sind wirklich wirklich schwitzig gewesen und manchmal ist es sogar schwieriger zuzusehen, als wirklich selbst zu klettern.
Welchen Schlussstrich würden Sie nach dem ersten Damenfinale ziehen, nach dieser neuartigen Serie, nach dem Beginn? Was nehmen Sie an Erfahrungen mit? Was für eine Begeisterung nehmen Sie mit?
Ja, ich nehme mit, dass es einfach spannend ist, Kletterbewerbe zuzusehen. Natürlich haben wir ganz spezielle Bedingungen, es ist kein Publikum vorhanden, es sind ganz spezielle Regeln, die man hier einhalten muss. Aber ich glaube, allen hat es einfach wahnsinnig viel Freude gemacht, endlich wieder an der Wand zu sein. Und auch mir hat es wirklich Spaß gemacht, endlich wieder Kletterbewerbe zu sehen.
Und es geht um 20.15 Uhr weiter, nämlich mit dem Herrenbewerb. Was erwarten Sie sich da?
Ja, beim Herrenbewerb erwartet man natürlich auch ein spannendes Finale. Jakob Schubert ist als Sechster qualifiziert, er wird von vorne weg Gas geben sozusagen. Aber dann natürlich auch mit den 3 Deutschen ist zu rechnen und es wird wirklich sehr spannend. Also ich hoffe, Sie schalten alle ein um 20.15 Uhr auf ORF Sport Plus. Das
hoffen wir natürlich auch. Danke, Anna Stör. Bis später. Um 20 Uhr Sport 20 zum Aktuellen, was in der Sportwelt so alles passiert, erfahren Sie dort mehr. Und um 20.15 Uhr freuen wir uns, wenn Sie wieder live mit dabei sind hier in ORF Sport Plus, wenn es dann mit dem Finale der Herren im Boulderbewerb hier bei der Austria Climbing Summer Series weitergeht. Bis dahin freue ich mich, wenn Sie wieder einschalten. Haben Sie es gut und bis bald.